Welcome to the Royal Road School of Carmelite Prayer. In Teresa of Avila's classic manual of prayer, The Way of Perfection, she writes extensively on prayer and on her different experiences with prayer. Let us turn our attention to what she has to say about supernatural prayer or contemplation and its different forms. So, beginning in The Way of Perfection, chapter 25, it is very possible that while you are reciting the Our Father, that the Lord may raise you to perfect contemplation. His majesty shows that he listens. It is his grandeur that speaks to the soul, suspending one's intellect, binding one's imagination. The soul understands that this divine master is teaching it by suspending its faculties. The soul is being enkindled in love. The will is enkindled without understanding how. This good cannot be merited. It cannot be gained. It is simply a gift from the Lord. What I have described is perfect contemplation. Now in chapter 30, he doesn't tell us to ask for impossible things. There are times when the Lord calms our faculties and quiets the soul, a clear foretaste of what will be given those he brings to his kingdom. And to those to whom he gives here below the kingdom we ask for, he gives pledges. They may have great hope of going to enjoy perpetually what here on earth is given only in sips. The beginning of pure contemplation, the prayer of quiet. But since I am dealing with vocal prayer, it may seem that vocal prayer doesn't go with contemplation, but I know it does. There are many persons who, while praying vocally, are raised by God to sublime contemplation. Those of you who are the enemies of contemplation should not think that you are free from being a contemplative if you recite your vocal prayers as they should be recited with a pure conscience. I want to explain this prayer of quiet, the beginning of pure contemplation. The Lord begins to show that he hears our petition to give us his kingdom here below, so that we may truly praise and hallow his name. This prayer, the prayer of quiet, is supernatural. We cannot procure it through our own efforts. And the Lord puts it, in other words, the soul, he puts the soul at peace by his presence. All the faculties are calmed. Not much more would be required for it to become one with him in union. The soul sees that it is in the kingdom. At least near the King who will give the kingdom to the soul. The state resembles, if you will, an interior or exterior swoon. A person feels the greatest delight in his body and a great satisfaction in his soul during this prayer of quiet. The faculties are still. Two of them are free, that is, the intellect and the memory. The will, the third faculty, is the one that is captive here in the prayer of quiet. If there is some sorrow, it comes from a realization that the will must return to the state of being free. Persons in this prayer don't want the body to move. They don't want to lose that peace, so they don't dare stir. They are within the palace. They are near the King. He is giving them his kingdom. In sum, while this prayer lasts, they are so absorbed. They are absorbed with satisfaction and with delight. Amen. So these two extracts were taken from chapter 25, chapter 30, and chapter 31 of Teresa of Avila's classic manual of prayer, The Way of Perfection, and she is describing for us the absolutely delightful state of the prayer of quiet, which is the first form, the beginning of contemplation or supernatural prayer. And it is discussed in the fourth mansions in the interior castle. So thank you for listening. I hope these little studies are beneficial to you. Amen.